From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, August 18th, 2016. Silver is trading at $19.77 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,352 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $579. Antiwar.com reports years of American efforts to portray the NSA as so far advanced above other hacking organizations as to be practically untouchable are taking a serious blow over Tuesday's announcements of a substantial collection of their cyber weapons being seized by a group calling itself the Shadow Brokers, and WikiLeaks confirmation they have the same files. Experts in the field increasingly agree that the NSA code is absolutely authentic, with top cybersecurity company Kaspersky Lab confirming 347 instances of encryption within the leaked files using a technique heretofore only seen in NSA code. Former NSA employees are also confirming the authenticity of the document, terming them the keys to the kingdom, and warning that their release would dramatically undermine the security of major governments and corporate networks the world over. It might have the opposite effect in the long run, however. The NSA is known to be conducting wholesale surveillance across the planet. The leak of this trove of files could reveal the exploits they are using to do so and set the stage for a dramatic leap forward in network security, closing decades of security flaws which the NSA was desperate to keep unfixed. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson held a conference call with election officials from all 50 states this week to discuss enhancing electronic security measures at polling places. The Department of Homeland Security is examining whether to confer critical infrastructure status on polling places, requiring the same level of electronic security as the nation's power grid and financial institutions. Johnson has pointed out U.S. voting machines have not had a security overhaul since they were mandated under the 2002 Help America Vote Act, which required all states switch to electronic balloting. The particulars, however, have been left up to individual states because the U.S. Constitution delineates the responsibility for administering elections to states and not the federal government. That has led to 50 different systems and nearly 9,000 government jurisdictions that have a hand in holding a national presidential election. On the call, Johnson alerted election officials to best practices to help avoid instances of fraud, though Voice of America points out the use of electronic voting machines that tabulate and report results using internal fax and email portals make them inherently susceptible to tampering if someone wanted to try hard enough. One method becoming more common is to use machines that create a paper trail that can be tracked and audited for irregularities. About 3/4 of Americans will use a voting machine that creates a paper trail, and in 26 states, election workers are required by law to perform random audits of those machines to check for instances of fraud or machine malfunction. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a Southern California wildfire raged unchecked in thick brush on Wednesday after destroying dozens of houses near a highway corridor between Los Angeles and Las Vegas and forcing as many as 80,000 residents to flee their homes. The so-called Blue Cut fire ignited on Tuesday in the mountainous Cajon Pass and quickly ballooned to 30,000 acres, putting firefighters on the defensive. Fire officials described the blaze as unusually fierce, even for a year of intense wildfires in the U.S. West, where years of drought have dried trees and brush and placed a heavy burden on firefighter resources. As many as 8 wildland fires were burning in California on Wednesday, 3 of them scorching thousands of acres as firefighters sought help from emergency responders from other states and the California National Guard. Given the dryness and ongoing warm weather, U.S. government forecasters have said Southern California faces a potential threat from major wildfires until December. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.